And I can say this, and this is not an excuse. My son never indulged in drugs around me. You got to realize I'm his dad, bro. And I was a disciplinarian. I was strict, structured. So certain things I didn't see. I never saw Quan pop a pill in front of me. I saw him smoke weed. I saw him drink liquor. But certain things I never saw him do. But in my mind, I knew when he was higher than normal. And I would address it with him. I used to tell him like, hey man, whatever you going through in life, your ass ain't in a pill bottle or liquor bottle, man. I used to tell him that.
But they're saying it's over an overdose. That's some fake ass pills, bro. 9 times out of 10, it's probably them fake ass pills. Like, I don't knock nobody who do what they do, but it's too fucking dangerous to get anything off the streets. Like, you gambling with your life when you swallow that pill that you got from your homeboy. Even if he said he got it from the doctor, like, don't believe it. If you didn't go to a doctor and get that shit as your medication, don't take it. Even if somebody's selling it to you, got the pill bottle. There could be an old pill bottle they had and they putting new fake pills in it. Like, it's a dangerous game if you out here taking drugs. You gotta really like pay attention.
They told the world it was just another overdose, clean and simple, case closed. But the streets never bought that story, not for a second. Rich Homie Quan wasn't some reckless kid spiraling out of control. He was a seasoned artist, a father, and someone who knew exactly what was around him at all times. Folks close to Atlanta's music scene started whispering early that something felt off, like the timeline didn't line up and the details were way too quiet for a name that big. The official reports came and went fast, almost rushed, and that alone made people lean in harder. Quan had survived the industry's traps before, so why would this moment be so careless all of a sudden? That question keeps circling, and nobody with real street sense is ignoring it. What really lit the fuse was talk about who was with him in his final hours. Not strangers, not randoms, but people from his inner circle, the kind that know your habits, your weaknesses, and your trust points. According to whispers moving through Atlanta, the pill that took him out didn't come from the streets, it came from inside the house. That's the part that has fans sick to their stomachs.
This chair I'm sitting in alone, I don't wish this on nobody, man. Like, I honestly, I envision my son getting older and pulling up, kicking it with me on some grown man shit, bro. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to have them time, man, while I was old and we just kicked it and we talked about what we did.
When people say provided, they don't mean accidentally left on a table. They mean handed over with confidence, like it was safe, like it was nothing. And when that confidence comes from someone close, the danger hits different. Some are even pointing fingers toward family ties, which makes the whole thing darker than anyone expected. Nobody is saying names out loud, but the implications alone have been heavy enough to shake people who watch Quan grow from mixtape grind to mainstream success. The idea that betrayal could sit that close, maybe even share blood, is what turned this from a tragedy into a possible setup in the public's eyes. Fans keep asking why certain people disappeared right after, why phones went quiet, and why explanations never really came. And here's where it gets louder. Quan had been moving smarter in his later years, keeping his circle tight and his moves calculated. Friends said he was focused, grounded, and not wilding out the way blogs love to paint it. So when the overdose narrative dropped, it felt like a lazy ending to a story that deserved way more scrutiny. People noticed how fast the narrative locked in, how little follow-up there was, and how quickly everyone was told to move on.
Sleep on the couch since this morning. Well, he never came to bed last night. Sleep on the couch. I left him on the couch before I took my son to school this morning, put a blanket over him, and now I just checked on him again because he never got up. I don't feel a heartbeat. I don't see him breathing.
That silence didn't bring closure. It brought suspicion. Because when someone with that much experience suddenly goes out in a way that feels careless, the streets don't call it bad luck. They call it something else entirely. Once the rumors hit, people started revisiting old interviews, old moves, and old tensions that never fully went away. Quan's rise wasn't smooth, and anybody who followed his journey knows there were money issues, trust issues, and fallouts that got brushed under the rug publicly but stayed alive behind closed doors. When someone climbs that fast and that far, not everyone around them is cheering. Some are counting, some are waiting, and some are resenting. That's why the idea of an inside job didn't sound crazy to folks who know how these situations really play out. What keeps popping up is how controlled the narrative felt afterward. There was no messy public breakdown, no loud grief from certain people who were supposedly closest to him, just silence and distance. In the streets, silence after a death doesn't always mean respect. Sometimes it means fear, guilt, or unfinished business.
I'm just friends with one of the people that stay in the house.
Name?
Quick.
Quick. So you Quick's friend?
Correct.
Okay. And you don't remember what time you arrived?
No. I have no idea what has transpired before or after. I was just in the room.
And so would you say that during that time period you and Thug were really like close friends, or was it just like a convenient musical relationship and Birdman was really the thing that was keeping y'all together?
No, that was my dog. That was my dog.
Right.
Definitely my dog. It was Birdman wasn't keeping me together. Shit, I met Bird through Thug.
Right.
I wouldn't have met Bird if it was Thug. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fans noticed how quickly certain conversations got shut down, how posts disappeared, and how questions were treated like disrespect instead of concern. That reaction only made people dig harder. Then there's the pill itself. People keep asking why it was trusted so easily and why there was no hesitation at all. Anyone who's been around knows you don't just take anything handed to you unless it comes from someone you fully believe wouldn't put you in harm's way. That's what makes this angle so uncomfortable. If the pill was laced, that means someone either didn't care enough to check or cared enough not to. And both possibilities paint ugly pictures. The whispers don't say this was loud or violent, just quiet and calculated. No chaos, no struggle, just a moment where trust did all the work. That's why fans say this doesn't feel like an accident. It feels like someone knew exactly what would happen and let it happen anyway.
Today, and I can say this, and this is not an excuse, my son never indulged in around me. You got to realize I'm his dad, bro. And I was a disciplinarian. I was strict, structured. So certain things I didn't see. I never saw Quan pop a pill in front of me. I saw him smoke weed. I saw him drink liquor. But certain things I never saw him do. But in my mind, I knew when he was higher than normal. And I would address it with him. I used to tell him like, hey man, whatever you going through in life, your ass ain't in a pill bottle or liquor bottle, man. I used to tell him that.
But they're saying it's over an overdose. That's some fake pills, bro. 9 times out of 10, it's probably them fake pills. Like, I don't knock nobody who do what they do, but it's too fucking dangerous to get anything off the streets. Like, you gambling with your life when you swallow that pill that you got from your homeboy. Even if he said he got it from the doctor, like, don't believe it. If you didn't go to a doctor and get that shit as your medication, don't take it. Even if somebody selling it to you got the pill bottle, there could be an old pill bottle they had and they putting new fake pills in it. Like, it's a dangerous game if you out here taking drugs. You gotta really like pay attention.
The idea that money, control, or long-standing resentment could have played a role keeps floating around, especially when people look at what changed after Quan was gone. Access shifted, benefits shifted, and certain doors suddenly opened for others. And even now, over a year later, the streets haven't moved on. Atlanta hasn't moved on. People still say his name with questions attached, not closure. When fans replay his music, it hits different now. Like there was more left unsaid, more time stolen. That's why the story refuses to die. Because until the quiet makes sense, the suspicion stays loud, and the truth feels like it's still sitting in the shadows, waiting for the wrong person to slip up.